Hey everybody, I'm Ebonee. This is Ebonee's Creativity. Thank you so much for joining me here on my channel. Today I wanted to do something a little bit out of the box, so I am going super creative on today's project in honor of hitting a milestone on the channel. You guys, we finally reached 1,000 subscribers, so thank you so much to everybody who watches, everyone who continues to offer me your support, and all of you who watch because you inspire me to keep creating. So I didn't want to just do something normal, kind of patch up something, paint it up, have it look pretty. I didn't want to do that today. I wanted to try to do a complete overhaul on the piece. So that is what I am doing today. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you are watching and have not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. If you have subscribed, again, thank you guys so much. This was on my vision board for this year back in January, and already in March we are doing it. So we are kicking ass on the channel. Thank you so much to everybody who is supporting me here. So with all that being said, let's hop right into the flip. Leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts as the video is progressing. Here's a piece that we are going to be working on today. I did get this for free off Facebook Marketplace anyway because it came along with the buffet that I did in the last video, and the guy just let me have this as well as the buffet. So a free find, and it's okay, really old-fashioned, and it has more trim than the law really should allow. Like, look at all this trim. If you've watched my previous videos, then you know I hate trim. So this is a solid wood piece, good for me to kind of experiment with. So like I said, we're going to do something all the way out of the park with this one. But I'm going to start off by knocking off some of this trim because I just can't stand it. I know there are better methods and better tools than the methods and the tools that I am using, but these are my methods and my tools. So I am going to be just using a hammer and a flathead screwdriver to remove all of this trim. Here's a look at all of the trim that I removed. I won't be needing both drawers for my project, so I'm going to be knocking out the bottom drawer, the supports, the trim, everything to do with the bottom drawer. Once I removed that bottom drawer, here is what it looked like. Next, I'm going to remove the backing piece as well as the top. I'm going to remove the top completely, but I will be reusing the top. I just need to remove it for now. And here are the 3 screws that are attaching it on. Up next, I am going to be modifying the one drawer that I will be reusing. So I had to cut a piece of wood to fit on the top of it. And now I'm just doing a dry fitting to make sure that it fits and removing the hardware. If you've watched my previous flips, then you know something good is about to happen when I tell you a circular saw was involved for this project. So stay tuned. Don't click out of the video. Don't be speeding past all my hard work, you guys. Anyways, now I am marking off the area that I need to cut. So if you guys have seen my experiences with circular saw, you know we are not besties, but I think I'm getting a little bit better with it. So that's good. But this time I'm going to be mapping out where I need to cut with some painter's tape so that I have a nice guide at least, even though my cuts will probably still not be straight. For my dad, as well as the other safety patrols in the comments, I do have on my eye protection. I couldn't find my gloves, so I'm very sorry, but I will have them for the next time. So I'm using the circular saw to take away some of the height of the drawer. I need it to be shorter in order to do what I'm trying to get it to do. And you can see me cutting right on through that tape. Look at how jagged that line is, but it's better than what it normally is. So I'll just be sanding that straight after I remove all of these parts that I no longer need. And so here I am sanding, and I am using the 120 grit sandpaper. I want to be sure to really enhance the strength of the drawer. So I am also cutting 3 pieces that I can just butt up to the current pieces, and that will kind of reinforce the strength. Here's a DIY I've done that I have not showed you guys, and it's this headboard that I made for my guest room. I really love it. And so I took the sheets off the bed to wash them because I'm expecting guests soon. But for now, I am using this room because this is where the foam that I have is. Used to have a big upholstered headboard in this room that I also made. And when I took it apart, I kept the foam for projects like the one I'm doing now. So I am just using that to cut out a piece. Here is the fabric that I'll be going with. I got this from Walmart. It was really cheap. So I never really think of Walmart when I think of fabrics, but if you guys need any fabrics, check out Walmart. It's really thin, but that's fine. It's a pretty fabric. So if you haven't guessed by now, I am making a seat. So I put that piece of foam down, and then I put the piece of plywood down, and now I am just stapling my fabric to the back of the plywood. Whenever you're reupholstering something, the corners are always the hardest part. I wish I had a set way to explain to you guys how to do it, but I kind of just tuck the piece that's on the left end and pull the piece that's on the right over. So hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I don't really have a professional method. I just kind of play with it and do what works for me. And if I need to cut off any extra fabric, if I have too much gathering at the corners, I do that. I just make adjustments as necessary. I think the most important thing is just to make sure that you are pulling the fabric taut and make sure that you are not creating big bunches of fabric at any given point on the back of here. You want to try to have it lay as flat as possible. So here's how mine looked once it was complete. I'm going in with my quick wood, and I'm just going to be filling the holes that were left from the previous hardware. To use quick wood, you just blend it together with your fingers. There's 2 colors on it when it first comes out of the package. So once you see a uniform color, it's all ready to use. And I am just going to put some on the tip of my finger and just kind of pack it into the hole. Typically, I only fill the outside or the front part of the drawer where the holes are, but for this project, I'm going to go inside the back of the drawer and I'm going to fill those in as well. And my new hardware only needs 1 hole, so after I'm finished filling the previous holes, you will see me drilling for my new hardware. Flipping back over to the body of the dresser, here is the back side, and I added in a support bar where you can see those black screws at. I did that because I wanted to add in these hinges, as you can see, and I just wanted to add that little bit of extra strength just to reinforce the strength of the bar that was already there. So I ended up adding 3 of these hinges. These are 1.5-inch hinges, and I did not see them in silver at my local hardware store. So I just got black, even though silver would have looked much better for what we're doing, but that's okay. It's hidden on the back anyways. So I'm just mapping out where I need to pre-drill my holes for these hinges at the moment. After determining where I want all of my hinges to be placed, which you only see me doing 2, but like I said, I did go back and add a 3rd. But after mapping out where I wanted everything to sit, I went ahead and pre-drilled all of the holes with my drill bit, and then I went back in with my screwdriver attachment, and I just went ahead and secured all the screws. After I finished screwing everything in, I gave it a tug to make sure it was well secured. And now you can see that I did in fact add 3 hinges. And now my top lifts up instead of just sitting on top like it did before. So here's how the body of the dresser currently looks. And as you can see, where I removed the trim is kind of in rough condition. So I am just going to go ahead and sand with some 120 grit sandpaper first, followed by 220. Here's how this looked after I finished sanding. There weren't that many repairs to make, so I didn't even bother filming the few little areas of wood filler that I did do, but you can probably see them if you've ever used wood filler before. And then you can just see my swirl marks from my scuff sanding. If you have a sander that you really love and you flip furniture, leave me the information about your sander down below because I'm looking to upgrade. And in my bucket here, I just have some Dawn, and I'm just going to go ahead and clean the piece up. Up next, I did go ahead and use my Ben Shellac Primer to do 2 coats on the whole piece. And here's how it looked after both coats were complete. Alright, so I got this light from Lowe's. That's the item number if you want to do this. It's just a simple, cheap 3-light vanity. When you open it up, it looks like this. So you can pop these off. And then on yours, there is a ground wire on this part that's screwed in to right here, but I already disconnected mine. Just one screw to take off, and then it's separated, and then you're left with this. This is what I'm going to mount into my vanity. I cut a piece of wood that would fit inside the top of this once I flipped it up, and now I am marking the halfway point on that board. And I am going to be using the piece that we just took off of the light fixture as a template to figure out where I need to drill holes. So now you see me drawing out the circles, and once those are drawn on, I am going to be using a 1.5 inch drill bit to make a hole where I've drawn these circles. I have done something with this before, and I can't quite figure out which side of the wood you're supposed to drill on. It seems like when I start on the side that I want to show, I always mess up that side, and when I try to start on the back, I mess up that side. So I don't know. I guess with me, it's kind of just the luck of the draw. I just use whatever side comes out the best. You can see what I mean here, how I kind of split around the hole on the back side, but the top side looks good. Up next, I got a really cheap extension cord from Lowe's, and I am just going to be cutting the end off of it. You'll want to keep the end with the plug on it and just cut off the opposite end. Then I used the razor to just chip away at that white coating that's on the outside and access the wires. And I am now tying the wires together. On the extension cord, you'll notice that there's a bumpy side and a smooth side. The bumpy side goes to the white wire and the smooth side goes to the black wire. So I am just tying those together, then securing that with the little twisties that came inside the lighting package. And then I will be putting some electrical tape around that just to make sure everything is safe, sound, and secure. While you're watching me do that, I just wanted to pop in and quickly request that you would consider subscribing to my channel if you have gotten this far in the video and are liking what you are seeing and have not yet done so. But thank you to all for watching. And now here is the moment of truth where I am going to be testing this out and make sure that it is working, and it looks like it is. So that's really good because I should have tested it before I went ahead and taped everything together, but I felt confident in my abilities. So good thing because it is working. Here's the paint that I'm going to be using. It is Little Lamb by Fusion, and I went ahead and primed. This is the piece that fits inside the top of the lid where I drilled the holes previously, as you can see. So I went ahead and primed that off camera, and now I am just going to go ahead and paint that up. I found this mirror at IKEA, which seems to fit pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. I did try cutting a piece of glass, which was an epic fail, but it would have been a much more perfect fit, but this one is just fine. And in reality, this one is probably better because it is child-safe glass. I thought it might be cute to add a little ledge in as well, so I did that too. I secured the mirror using E6000, which is a really super strong adhesive if you've never seen or heard of it before. And I am going to just put some of that on the back and then sit some heavy containers on top so that I can make sure that it adheres correctly. I got these hinges from the hardware store, and I'm going to be making a secret compartment inside of the seat portion of this vanity. So I am going to be taking that drawer that we cut down earlier, and I'm going to be adding the hinges to make some storage. I'm going to be attaching the piece that we upholstered earlier right onto this drawer using these hinges, and that should provide me some storage. So when this is in the closed position, it will be a seat, and once flipped up, they have a storage area to put all of their things inside. After that, I went back in with the Little Lamb by Fusion, and I am just going to go ahead and paint the body of this. And I did end up doing 2 coats of this paint. Because of the thickness of the wire nuts on the panel that has the lights, I cannot just lay it flat on here. So I'm going to be just putting in these 2 pieces of scrap wood that I cut and securing that with wood glue and hot glue. And I'm just going to be putting these as just kind of a platform for the main panel to sit on top of. That way the wire nuts will fit in the back. Once that is secure, I'm going to go back in with some more wood glue and hot glue, and I'm going to go ahead and attach the front panel. Since this is for kids, I did want it to be as safe as possible. I did find this lid support at Home Depot, but when I attached it, I just really did not like it. I thought it was big and bulky, and I wanted something a little bit more sleek. Also, I wanted one with the safety mechanism in it. I did find one on Amazon, and I ordered it prime, but it still has not made it here. So the prime was not priming, and that is why you will not see the safety hardware installed in the final images. But trust and believe, I will be adding one once I find the perfect one that I like, and it will be installed before I sell this. So if you want to see it once it's installed, check my Instagram. One of you had a question about the applicator that I'm using to apply my wipe-on poly, and here it is, as well as the wipe-on poly that I'm using. So I'm going to go ahead and put a top coat on everything. This applicator is from Dollar Tree, and all I do is dampen it and then pour on my poly onto my sponge and just wipe. And I did do 2 coats. Here is the hardware that I'll be using. It was left over from the pink metallic furniture flip that I did. So if you have not seen that, definitely check that video out too. And it's just about that time for final finished images. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave me a comment and let me know if you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys in my next flip. Bye guys. If you have the time, please select another one of my videos to watch from the choices on the screen or in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching.